Okay, in this video, I'm talking about how to basically, when you destroy the boss, he's going to change to a certain image and then the game's going to end. I've talked about this in previous videos, but I didn't talk about how to make the boss switch to an ending boss where it'll show him dying, then the game will end. And I will also show you how to do it for the player as well. So first I will show you how to destroy the boss and then show him having a reaction to being killed, and then it ends. Then I will do the same for the player. For right now I have code graded out for the player so he doesn't get hit, so I can show you how to kill the boss real quick and then it will end. Alright, so here we go. So I'll show you also how he gets hit like that when he jumps back. He's losing life. See? And so let me show you, and then I'll do it. Let me show you how it's set up for the player as well. I pretty much just use the same image. So this image right here flickers back and forth, and I use this universal image for both the boss and the player. So if the boss kills me off, I'll flash like this, just like the boss did, and it will end the game. Alright, so what I did was, I graded all this out for the player because this basically affected the player when he gets hit by the boss. So I just graded it all out so that way he doesn't get hit and die. But I'm going to enable it. So let me talk about this for the player and then I'll go back to the boss. It's the same kind of concept. So if the boss hits me, then my images at the top of my health bar will be decreased, and this is what it's talking about right here. And I've already talked about this in my previous video, so go watch that first if you haven't, about how to use the health bar image to be lowered down and then blink and you're dead. But that's what this code is doing. It's basically changing this image right here, this health bar, from image 0 to image 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then he's dead. So when I get hit by the boss, his weapon is hitting me. After image index 4 happens, which is the last image for the health bar, blinking and all that stuff, it's going to blink, and after it blinks for so many seconds, it's going to end the game. But before it does that, it's going to, if image index happens at 4, when the image is pretty much blinking at the top, the health bar is blinking at the top, before the game ends, he's going to jump, my player object's going to change to object boss gone and set it to true. So if image index equals 4, which is when the health bar is blinking, then it's going to change my character, my object player, to instant change to object boss gone true. So I'm basically using this switch image here, this change image instance, to make them switch to the instance change object boss true. So it's changing my character to this boss image right here, and it's blinking for several seconds, and and also have it set to this object boss gone. I have it set to direction middle, speed 0, and it's not connected to the parent. It's not connected to my player object, nor is it connected to the boss. It's not parented at all with the boss or the player. It's a separate image, and it blinks so many times, and after it blinks so many times, it's going to end the game, or it's going to move to another room. So here's the blinking image that happens. Then after 30 milliseconds, it's going to end game. And this code right here is just, I talked about this before, then an instance is deactivated. Oh, this is talking about at the beginning where you have the blinking object deactivated because you don't want to end the game right away. But I've already talked about that in the previous video, so watch that if you want more explanation about the deactivating part. But like I said, when the blinking does happen, after 30 milliseconds, it's going to end game. But before it end games, it's going to show that effect with the player or the boss blinking, showing like the last, what really happens to the boss when you kill him off completely. It shows the blinking effect happen, and then the blinking happens of the health bar and it ends. So it shows the effect of what happens. He blinks, and then the object health bar blinks too, and then it ends game. Alright, and then the same thing happens, and then you apply it the same way to the boss. Now the thing is with the boss, since I didn't treat any of these images for the boss as parented objects, I have to put the code in for each individual image. I don't know why. I didn't parent it because I'm not sure why I didn't parent it. I think it's because it had some kind of issue with parenting all the images together for the boss to do certain things. So that's why they're all treated separately. So for each image, I had to put this code in here for the getting hit by the good weapon. So in this situation, after image index 8 happens, because his health bar is longer, it's going to change the object bad down to instance change to object boss gone true. So in this situation, object bad down has to match this code right here, which you're switching object bad down to instance change to object boss gone true. And like I said, it's set to health bar, which is talking about this information right here. But then the second line of code is talking about the actual boss image bad down. If he gets hit by the good weapon, then this is what's going to happen. And the same thing applies to his next image. So object bad stay. If he gets hit by the good weapon, then got to make sure to have this image, this text change. So you copy and paste the code, but you change this information right here because you're talking about object bad stay. So it's got to apply to object bad stay. And then if he's hit by object bad stay, then instance is going to change to object boss gone true. So each instance of the boss, you got to have it read differently. So you don't know when you don't know where you're going to hit the boss at the last image state. So you got to make sure that you have the code checked for all the images. So for this boss image right here, it's called object bad go up. So it's got to be switched to object bad go up. Now, of course, if you had it parented, then you would only have to apply it to that parented object. But since I don't have it parented, then I have to make sure that it's set up for this single image object bag go up. See, with my character, object character, the object player left is set up to object player, so I don't need the code in there for object player left because it relates to object player, so I only have to put the code in for the object player. So this code right here, this is object player. This also applies to the object player left because I have parented. But the thing is, I could not parent, for some reason I could not parent all these images of the bad guy. I couldn't, for some reason I could not do it for Game Maker. For some reason I could not parent all the images together because he does something different, I believe, at the top here where he talks for a couple seconds and then he starts shooting at the very top. He starts spraying his weapon all over the place. Then from there he switches images where he's at the top, then he jumps down to the bottom, then he jumps back to the top and fires the weapon. For some reason I had issues with Game Maker when I parented it all together. It wasn't working correctly, so I had to separate it all in different images. So that's why for each image of the boss, for the good guy shooting the weapon, it had to be changed to a certain image right here. This information right here had to be different because it relates to different images of the boss. So that's pretty much it. And then, like I said, once he gets to the last image, the HP blinks a couple times, and then it goes to end game, or you could have it go to another room. And at the same time, he's doing the effect where the boss or the player is actually blinking and dying. So let me show you this one more time with. I'll show it to you with the player. So now you're going to see it. Now you're going to see it happen and die. The player's going to die this time. And I'm going to show you that jump real quick. See? And he blinks off. Alright, so that jump thing I was talking about, when the player gets hit by the boss weapon, I have it set to jump. I talked about before in my previous video where if he gets hit, he blinks and then it stops blinking. Well, in this situation, I wanted him to jump. So in the move toward, I made a move toward tab here. I got that move toward in the main, where is it? Right here. Move tab, drag the jump position over, so in this area X is 0, Y is at minus 15, and the speed is 10, so he's going to jump back at 10 speeds. And then I have a friction on there set to 1. I have a friction on there because if you don't have a friction on there, he keeps moving back, and if you don't press any key, he'll keep moving back when you get hit. So there's a friction on there, so he moves back a couple seconds, milliseconds, and then he stops because there's a friction on there, and the friction set to 1. And I think for the object player, and then object player left, I don't have a hit. He doesn't get hit. Well, he gets hit, but he's going to bounce the same way as he does with object player. So he's gonna, if he's moving left and he gets hit, he's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna get hit and move back at minus 15, or yeah, he's gonna go back minus 15 at the speed of 10. So it doesn't matter which way he's going to get hit and be pushed back because it's parented. So it's going to be the same. He's going to move back the same direction, whether he's going forward or back. And then he has a friction on there set to 1, so he's going to stop almost immediately at And if I made this too, it would go quicker. You probably wouldn't even see him jump. So I set it to 1, so you can see a jump happen when he gets hit, and then he stops suddenly, real quick. And then of course it destroys the bad guy weapon at that instance. Set it to other. Do not set it to self, otherwise it will destroy the whole weapon when the bad guy shoots out the weapon. It will kill all the weapon off in all the directions. So you want to make sure it's set to other, so it just hits that one particular weapon shooting straight at you. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So I will give you the GMX file. Thanks for watching.